When I think about, so first I'll say Texas, like I think, because I teach Texas state government, we talk about this a lot, that Texas is, we have a very individualistic culture. And so I think we have a very independent spirit. And so this July 4th really is a holiday that resonates with Texans really well. Like, we're all about it. But I think specifically to our region, especially our region, because we're a region that's very rural and we're very spaced out. And so I think some of those things, some of that kind of independent survival, every rugged individualism that you still see across Texas, I think you see it most prominently in places like West Texas because of the way that our rural landscape. And West Texas is a great place to be for this type of holiday because it so resonates with so many aspects of who we are and the types of things, and the types of people that are drawn to this area. So much so. And then Ross, I would say, especially some of the students who, I think especially students who come from this region, they kind of get it already and they embrace it. And then even students who come here for other places, I think there's certain types of students who learn to really embrace that level of like a grittiness that you have to get to be in these kind of areas. And so I think it's a unique thing about us. And I think, all the different ways that the narrative that we portray about our university, I think that all plays into that very well. So, yeah.
I think in far West Texas in our university, what we see is a very diverse panorama of individuals and people. And our culture of this region is the culture of this region. And it is just as much the American culture as it was, some people describe the Mexican culture, that we have a lot of the Mexican culture built in. Well, yes, because we're adjacent to Mexico, very close to the border. And this was a part of the Mexican territory at one time. So the history of some families here go really far back. But they're today just as American as you or I. Where we are today in West Texas and who we are here in Alpine at Sul Ross State University and how we serve everybody. We have an identity for our culture and our region in here. And it differs than the culture of a university closer to the northern borders of the country. It's going to be different, but we're still Americans. We're still in the United States, and we're still serving our constituencies. It just so happens that we're closer to a different people group than they are on that northern border. It's no different, but yet it is. And we need to embrace all of that.
Well, I mean, I think, being on the border is a big reminder, at least it is to me, right? That again, of our nationality. I think that it's interesting, because I lived in Pennsylvania. And so I lived 3 hours away from Washington, D.C., an hour from Philly. And so the birthplace, right, of these ideas is there. And now I live in West Texas, where many of the, we're far away from Washington, D.C., we're far away from the capital, we're far away from the birthplace of this country. And yet there are things here that I think are the seeds of many of the ideas, like, being on the border, I think to me, reminds me of our nationality. But it is, so my parents are obviously immigrants, political refugees. And so that's a big part of this country. And as you know, as everybody knows, it's a very controversial part now. But not just here, in every country. It's true in Europe as well. So I think that being on the border is a very important part of that kind of unveil some of these ideas. But I think also, the diversity in this area, having the history, very important to some of these values and ideas. And but there's a lot of diversity, a lot of Hispanic communities. I think you see what people call the American dream of communities and immigrants who come to this country and create a family and sort of have social mobility and move up. And you see that as a professor and as an administrator at the university. I witness that firsthand, you know, in our students that have come here, gotten an education, and have we offer them opportunities that they wouldn't have if they wouldn't go through that sort of education. So I think that is part of it as well. So
the spirit of independence is strong in West Texas, particularly here in Alpine. We're in the frontiers, and we are the frontier, the last frontier in the United States of America, and the underlying elements that we celebrate as part of this independence celebration are still relevant today here in this region, in many ways more strongly than they are in more populous regions. And so in a lot of ways, we're fueled by that same spirit that fueled the move towards independence initially. Texas has a strong history of that. They wanted to be, they were the Republic of Texas for a period of time. So they were truly independent of the United States of America. And then they were reincorporated or reintegrated into the United States, but never lost that independent spirit. And so in a lot of ways, I think it's not just celebrating independence again from a sovereign, but celebrating the independence and liberty that we have to live the way we want to live in this region, and protecting it and preserving it.
It is significant because we come together, especially in smaller communities like Alpine, Terlingua, as someone who grew up in these communities. We come together to celebrate, you know, a historic date, and it brings us all together as Americans to celebrate our nation's independence. And whether it's in Marfa, whether it's in Presidio, whether it's in Terlingua, whether it's in Alpine, we all come together to celebrate our nation's independence. And whether it may vary culturally from other regions in Texas or maybe even the United States, because it is West Texas, but I think it also exemplifies our American nation in the fact that we come from all walks of life, and that we come together to celebrate, and we take pride in the fact that we're Americans, and that this was a historic date that initiated this great nation called the United States of America.